Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Hello. Happy Tuesday. And welcome to Tuesdays with Tabitha, episode 10 of Tuesdays with Tabitha. This is a weekly live show helping you to have the courageous conversations that you need to have so that you can resolve conflict in the workplace. I am your host, Tabitha Liebert, and today we are talking about the 5 ways that effective leaders can build resilience. If we've never met before, I am an attorney, an HR manager, and a conflict management strategist. And I help professional women of faith who are overwhelmed by workplace conflict lead thriving teams with confidence. I do that by helping you to learn how to use all 5 of the conflict styles so that you can lead from the boardroom, the classroom, or any other room that you are in. So we're talking today about the 5 ways that an effective leader can build resilience. And as I was reflecting and preparing to talk today, I remember exactly where I was the day and the time when someone said to me, "Your family is dysfunctional." And I said, "What?" I remember exactly when it was. It was in 1995. And my parents, like so many other parents in this world, were separated, divorced. And so we were making a life with my mom as a divorcee. And we were making our way through school, through university, and like so many other single mothers, my mom was doing the best that she could for her girls and doing an excellent job, if I may say so myself. I remember being so affected internally by everything, and I remember finding my way through scholarships and through law and trying to stay at the top of my class. Now, I didn't do that without help. I got through it by prayer, by fasting, by hard work, by using resilience, and by surrounding myself with a community of family and friends who could help me, especially in the tough times, and who could cheer me on in the good times. Now, that worked then. But if I had conflict resolution strategies at my fingertips, I can imagine how much more successful I would have been as a leader and how much more fulfilling the journey would have been, not only for me, but for the other people who I managed along the way. Because a part of being an effective leader is learning how to actually radiate clarity in our journey as a leader, in the way that we resolve conflict. And being an effective and a heart-centered leader, when you're that kind of leader, you're someone that people can rely on for balanced decision making, for fair decision making, and for timely decision making during conflict. And so when you're an effective heart-centered leader, it helps you in every area of life. Instead of giving your partner the silent treatment when you don't see eye to eye, you're able to lovingly listen to them and listen to each other and resolve conflict by getting to the root issue so that you grow closer as partners. If you're an effective and heart-centered leader, instead of getting agitated every time you see your ex or you see that person that you can't stand, you're going to have the tools to calmly make yourself heard and to maintain your peace throughout the process of communicating with them and doing whatever other transactions you have to do with them. Being an effective heart-centered leader means being someone who, instead of fuming in silence when a colleague misses a deadline or misses yet another deadline, you're able to gently support the person by speaking up and addressing the problem so that they can finally get the work done. Because on many occasions, speaking up, if there is a conflict, speaking up if someone is failing at the task that they need to do is so much kinder and so much more heart-centered than just leaving them to fail and maybe passing them over for a promotion. Or worse yet, they're leaving and moving on to another position and carrying those same habits and failings with them. So, what does it look like to be an effective heart-centered leader who is resilient? Well, I'm going to give you some steps that are going to help to move you along in that direction. And the first one is that you're a leader who regulates your emotions. Now, regulating your emotions means that you are mapping your emotions. You're mapping how they show up. You're understanding them. You're understanding how you're presenting yourself to someone else because of these emotions that you're carrying inside of you. And not only that, you're making sure, and this is the most important part of regulating your emotions, you as an effective heart-centered leader are making sure that those emotions don't drive your thoughts and your reactions. Now, the second way that you as an effective heart-centered leader can show up with more resilience is to have clarity around conflict. And what I mean by this is learning when it is conflict, learning how to deal with it, and learning how to use all 5 of the conflict styles. And doing that in a safe space, in a community that can help you to use every style: directing, avoiding, harmonizing, cooperating, and collaborating, when each of those styles is important, whether the relationship is important or the outcome is important. And this is how we apply those conflict styles. We're understanding also what conflict is and what it isn't. And we're supporting ourselves, and we're being supported in a community where we can practice those skills. Another way of being an effective, heart-centered, resilient leader is by communicating mindfully. And that is our third step. Understanding when we communicate, how we think and how what we think drives what we say. And understanding how to speak and act in a gentle and effective way when it is appropriate, and also how to be firm when that is appropriate, because sometimes it is appropriate to speak and communicate in a gentle way, but sometimes you have to bring the heat as a leader, and you have to understand how to communicate through leadership in your leadership role in a way that is firm and kind. The fourth step to becoming a resilient, effective, heart-centered leader is knowing when and how to get unstuck. And I can help you do that in a community that is going to take you step by step through getting unstuck so that you can move closer to your conflict resolution goals. Because many times mental strength manifests itself differently depending on your own unique personality. And still, there are some fundamental qualities that we can tap into regardless of what our personalities are that can help us to get unstuck, that can give us strategies to go through what might seem to us like hopeless circumstances and help you to maintain your enthusiasm for your goals despite adversity that you might be facing until you achieve the goals that you set out to achieve through resolving conflict and getting things in your workplace on board so that you can be productive, so that your business can bring in revenue, so that you can be leading a happy team, so that you can be someone who is flexible and adaptable, and you can apply your core values and principles to the job that you do and also to your team. And the last tip that I'm going to give you today in becoming an effective, heart-centered leader is to dismantle fear. And how do we dismantle fear? We do it by building confidence. We do it by understanding that it's likely that many issues that we have are created by fear. We're understanding that even though we might not think that our financial situation or situations in our relationship or our workplaces are rooted in fear, they might just be. And many of the obstacles that we face might be caused by those fears and might be caused by our personal struggles to deal with those fears in an appropriate way. And so, because of the fear that we are not dismantling, conflict might show up in our relationships, in our money, in the way we procrastinate, to the extent that that fear binds us from actually moving forward and stepping into a role that can help us to resolve conflict in the places that we show up. And so, if you want to, as an effective heart centered leader, use those 5 steps to be more resilient, which are regulating your emotions, getting clarity around conflict, communicating mindfully, getting unstuck, and dismantling fear, I'm happy to talk with you more about it. And I'm actually creating a space where, as leaders, we can sit down and walk through those steps to build our resilience. Because if we build our resilience, we are much more able to become effective heart-centered leaders who are excellent at resolving conflict. So if you are one of those people who would like to move in that direction, reach out to me, and you can find me at marshallduke.com. You can also find me in Your Resolution Room, which is a private Facebook community where we are going to be doing this and talking about this more. I've got something coming up in the pipeline that's really exciting, and so I'm looking forward to working through this with a special group of people who want to become more resilient as a precursor to building their conflict resolution skills. So touch base with me. If you're watching now on the replay, you can say hi in the comments. Let me know you're interested. You can also send me a DM and let me know you're interested if you're watching now or on the replay, and I'll be happy to connect with you. So I'll say bye for now, and I'll see you right here on Tuesday at 6 p.m. next week, same time, same place, for another episode of Tuesdays with Tabitha. Have a wonderful week. Take care, and